Brothers and sisters, we've been looking for encouragement in Hebrews chapter 12, written to a church undergoing persecution, going through a difficult time. And so as we've gone through this difficult season in 2020, we have been encouraged from what we learned in chapter 12. And really the whole book of Hebrews is written to a people undergoing a certain degree of persecution. He is encouraging them to stay the course, to keep hold of the faith, to not return to their Jewish faith, which would alleviate their suffering, but rather to stay the course for the glorious prize ahead. In chapter 13, he begins with some practical instructions about how they are to live. Last time we saw that let brotherly love continue. He says, don't neglect to show hospitality, and so on. We see that even in this season, when they are undergoing difficulty, they are to be looking out for others. Today we're looking just at verse 3. Remember those who are in prison as though in prison with them, and those who are mistreated, since you also are in the body. So he's reminding them he's telling them that they need to remember those who are in prison. It's easy to forget those who are in prison. Here, of course, he's particularly thinking of those who are believers who are in prison for their faith, those who are mistreated for their faith. In general, it is easy to forget people that are not near us. Think of how many people have moved away from Doha, and while we think of them on occasion, we don't do so as often or as faithfully as we would like to. The reality is that when people aren't near us, it's easy to forget. And especially when remembering someone actually brings to mind not only our own frailty, but might in fact put us in jeopardy. If we truly remember those who are in prison, we will probably go to visit them. We will probably care for them. And this puts us squarely in the crosshairs of those who put those other people in prison in the first place. But we are to remember those who are in prison. Brothers and sisters, let us not neglect even now both those believers in the world that are suffering for their faith. It is good for us to understand what persecution is going on in the world and what we can do about it. But more than that, it's critical for us to remember other people, that our brothers and sisters, many of whom we haven't seen because of this coronavirus, are also still alive, still here, and many of them also suffering. Let us remember them. Let us reach out to them. Let us talk to them, not focusing on ourselves, but rather reaching out. It is easy when things are hard to basically say, well, at least I'm glad things aren't terrible for me, but we have a responsibility even to reach out in service of others, to show the love of Christ in practical ways with those who are especially of the household of faith. So in this season, let us look out for others. Let us remember others. Let us look out for those who are either being harshly treated or who are simply going through a difficult time to show them the love of Christ.